L'histoire de Paul Smith ressemble à celle d'un conte de fées, une vraie success story haute en couleurs qui grandit chaque jour davantage. C'est celle d'un gamin né dans l'Angleterre de l'immédiat après-guerre et qui travaille comme commis dans une boutique avant de devenir l'un des designers les plus célébrés du XXe siècle. À ses débuts, le couturier taille ses propres chemises pour hommes lui-même dans sa boutique de Nottingham. Il a gardé de ses jeunes années une vraie modestie et un incroyable appétit pour la vie qui se traduit par des touches de couleur et d'originalité dans ses collections. Cette British Touch contribue depuis ses débuts à rectifier les silhouettes droites comme des parapluies des gentlemen britanniques. Moins formel, plus audacieux, Paul Smith, célèbre pour son goût pour les rayures et le kitsch, déringardise la mode masculine, lui donne un ton et une raison d'être.
At the beginning of my career, I only made clothes for men. Of course, I make clothes for women now as well. But at the beginning of my career, basically, what I was very aware of was that I couldn't push the average, especially the British male, because they were so like, oh, it's a flowery tie, I can't possibly wear a flowery tie. Yeah, they were more nervous and felt it was too feminine or too attention seeking, and so instead of pushing, I just, in English we say nudge, you know, we just gently introduce them to maybe a little interesting colourful lining which had a little polka dot or something like that, or a coloured buttonhole, and then maybe a colourful tie or some colourful socks. And then slowly the average British male and then the French and the Italian customers say, well, Paul Smith is like a normal guy and he seems to be always quite positive and happy, and he wears a colourful tie and it seems fine, you know. So it was always a very gentle. So I did really change the way men think and dress enormously without realizing it. It was really just a very natural thing.
Sir Paul, anobli par la reine pour les bons et loyaux services rendus à la couronne, rêvait il y a 40 ans de se voir couronné couturier à Paris, où ses collections masculines défilent chaque année depuis le début. C'est désormais chose faite. Non seulement ces magasins ne se désemplissent pas, les Français ont toujours bien accueilli le troublion british de la mode, mais le voilà aujourd'hui en prime time à la télévision, comme seuls y ont eu droit avant lui Yves Saint Laurent, Coco Chanel ou Christian Dior. Dans le même temps, un livre et un DVD voient le jour chez Arte Éditions. Pour autant, Paul Smith, qui n'aime pas plus les hommages qu'il ne les sollicite, préfère regarder demain. Il n'y a rien de mieux pour lui que ce qu'il n'a pas encore fait.
My first fashion show, well, all my men's fashion shows have been in France. My women's ones are in London. But when I first did my first show, which was in a friend's apartment on Rue de Vaugirard, yeah. And there was about 30 people in the audience, and it was really interesting. From even at that early time of the first collection, inside me I felt that the French people would like what I do, and I don't know why that was. I just felt it, and you know, my dreams have come true, because luckily France, Paul Smith in France is really popular and we do really well. Because in fashion you've never made it. It's always about today and tomorrow, and as soon as you relax, somebody's overtaking you in the fast lane. And the job of a designer is to keep moving and to sometimes make decisions which are not entirely comfortable. Nobody cares how good you used to be. So we have to always remember that. It's always about the future.
Le secret de ce fou de vélo, il ne se disperse pas. Designer, il signe quelques rares collaborations, dont celle avec Rafa, Stelton ou encore Evian. Refusant les nombreux projets de co-branding qu'on lui propose, il poursuit ses développements dans les chaussures, les parfums, les montres, le mobilier, en tout 12 collections à son nom. C'est avec enthousiasme qu'il participe à la montée en puissance de sa marque en Corée du Sud, à Hong Kong. À la différence des grandes marques du luxe, il se méfie de la Chine, qu'il ne voit pas comme un Eldorado. Très populaire au Japon, où il se rend presque tous les 2 mois et qui représente une part importante de son activité, Paul Smith n'entend pas se développer à tout prix sur le continent asiatique. Être le patron et l'actionnaire de son propre groupe l'aide à demeurer créatif, indépendant et visionnaire. Chapeau, sir.
I could have designed at least 2 hotels this year and 5 cars and 15 telephones, but you know, if it doesn't feel right, I just don't do it. So I have no big desire to do anything more than just go with the flow, and just if it feels right, I just grab it and go, yes please. I started this life in the fashion industry as a shop assistant, and then from then on I became a designer, and then at some point I've done every aspect, including ordering fabrics and actually physically making shirts in the beginning of my career. So I suppose it's just been a natural progression that I'm interested in all aspects of it. And because we're privately owned, you know, I don't have to go through committees to decide on how the shop front should look and could we change this interior, and we have to decide on all these rules that unfortunately so many of the big companies you know, are so full of shareholders and people demanding lots of things from them that I seem to have a little bit more freedom than most, and that means I can dip into everything really. Because I'm the guy who makes the decisions, I think it gives me this freedom to sort of flow with the river, and to, if I suddenly want to do very skinny clothes or more loose clothes or bright clothes, I'm experienced enough to know that whether to do them or not, and also I can make that decision, yeah. Now, I mean, Paul Smith is a privately owned company still, and I'm the boss, I'm the designer, so I have many hats. Just a moment please. So I've got a designer, director, etc. So I take care of all different things, and so probably one of the most exciting things about my job, and also the most difficult thing about my job. I mean, one of the things I hope I am, and I think I am, is childlike. Not childish, but childlike, and that means that I'm very curious. I always ask questions. Well, why can't we do that? And why is he too tall? And you know, very honest things that children do because they're not cluttered with education and they're not cluttered with experience. And so I still keep this very free mind. So I hope that my staff get that as like an infectious sort of energy that comes from me naturally, and that way it keeps us very in tune with young people. And around the world, especially I have quite a substantial business in Japan, and you know, we have customers of 12, 13, 14 and going all the way up to 60, 65, 70 years of age, and that's quite unique. What excites me about life is today and tomorrow, and meeting you guys, and being on the train this morning coming from London and looking out of the window and the fog and the sunshine. And it sounds very, very boring and maybe unadventurous, but you know, I'm a very normal guy. And bye.